So I sold my Mac, and as you guys can see back there, I have a useless pile of PC parts because I have no motherboard, no monitor shipped yet. Lord only knows whenever those are gonna be here, but it's not the end of the world today. I was still able to post this video. We're gonna talk about how here in a second. Let's go ahead and hop into it. So I think a lot of times as creators, we like to clutter our workflow and make problems up in our minds that don't actually exist. And I think one of the problems that I've made up in my mind for the past 2 weeks, ever since selling my Mac, is that because I don't have a computer, I can't edit and put videos out, but that's simply not true. If I think back to when I first started posting on YouTube, I actually did all of my posts, all of my editing without a computer, and I did it with a handy program. Now there's a lot of different mobile programs out there for editing, but the one that I'm specifically going to talk about today is Lumafusion, and why I believe it's a great option for anyone who is just starting to post videos or anyone who can't bring a computer with them, doesn't have a computer, whatever it is, why Lumafusion is a great way to post your videos and get them out there on YouTube or whatever you're using. So the first reason why I believe that Lumafusion is a great tool to use when you're posting videos is the ease of use and how easy it is to get into video if you're just now starting. With Lumafusion, literally all you have to have is a phone and or a camera. You need an SD card dongle if you are shooting on a camera, and that's it. That's all you have to be able to import and edit videos and then post them with Lumafusion. You don't have to have a big fancy computer rig. You don't have to have a big fancy camera rig. It can be something as simple as your phone, and I think that's something that's really important when it comes to shooting video. Is the simpler the process is, the more freedom you have in your mind to use the creativity that we've been given. Secondly, why mobile editing is not the end of the world is it is cheap. It is very cheap to get into mobile editing. What do I mean by this? I'm talking about Lumafusion alone. The app is only $20. I'm gonna repeat that. It's only $20 for Lumafusion on your phone or on your iPad, and you have a complete mobile editing workstation. There's no subscriptions needed, anything like that. I know the Adobe suite is, $20 or $30 a month if you have most of the programs. If you haven't used the free version of DaVinci but you've paid for it, it's like $300. Now DaVinci Resolve on a computer is free, but once again, it's a computer-based program. And Final Cut for the Mac, it also costs money too. Quite a bit of money at that. So for $20, you have a very powerful editing software in your phone or on your iPad. And really the third reason why I love Lumafusion is it is excessively portable. And by excessive portability, I literally mean for situations like right now when you have to make an emergency coffee run. This is Troyer's Snickerdoodle coffee from a local store here in our county, but I've just hired a driver, so that gives me the luxury to edit on the go. All I have to have is my little dongle here, plug it into my phone and start editing. Now, this may not seem significant to a lot of people because you can say, well, I'll just bring my laptop with me. However, for those that don't have a laptop, or if you're like me and you have a 2012 Mac that crashes and throws a fit anytime you try to edit anything in it, you can't beat the portability of editing on your phone. Back to the office. Literally had to stop the video to go run a couple of errands. But like I said, excessively portable when it comes to being on the go, being on the fly. If you're traveling a lot, if you're flying, riding buses, riding cars, if you hired a driver, AKA your wife like I did, you can literally edit anywhere at any time that you want to. And that is something that is so powerful. You're not a slave to a desk. You're not a slave to a computer or anything like that. You have your mobile workstation right there. And I think that is something that is excellent when it comes to editing mobile videos. Now, there are a few cons to Lumafusion in particular, and a couple of other mobile editing apps as well. And really the big one for me when it comes to using these mobile apps, even as good as Lumafusion is, and it does offer color grading options, I do not recommend using Lumafusion if you're gonna shoot in log format. Now, Fuji F-Log, yes, we have conversion LUTs, Canon C-Log that I shoot on my EOS R, very easy footage to work with. However, even with the conversion LUTs in Lumafusion, it just doesn't do well with the footage, especially on the Fuji, because it shoots H.265 at a very high bit rate. I think in 1080 it shoots 200 megabits a second. On the EOS R, it also shoots a high bit rate in log as well. So not the easiest footage to work with when it comes to mobile editing. So I would say if you are gonna edit mobile, don't shoot log footage. Fuji has a very pretty color profile that I love called Eterna. It's easy to grade in Lumafusion. Canon has the faithful profile that I absolutely love. A lot of people like the neutral profile when they're shooting on Canon. Whatever it is, just avoid log footage when you're shooting on a mobile app. You're not gonna get as much flexibility as you would using a computer-based program like Premiere, like Resolve, like Final Cut, something like that. The other con to editing mobile, and this also depends on the machine that you're using, but you're gonna have a smaller screen to work with to see your footage. Now that may not seem like a big issue, but it's one of those little nitpicky things whenever I'm editing, and that's one of the joys of having a computer to edit on, is you have a very big display to see your footage on. With your phone or with your tablet, you're limited to the size of the machine that you have in your hand. And really the last thing that I would watch out for when editing mobile, especially with Lumafusion, is you may be limited by the limitations of your machine. In my case, I had to revert to editing everything on my phone because my iPad does not like Fuji footage. It shoots at too high of a bit rate for my iPad to import it into the library. Now, if I use my phone, which I'm doing right now, I can import the Fuji footage even at 200 megabits a second, H.265. It doesn't have a problem with it. Just understand that you may be limited by the machine that you're shooting on. So in conclusion, I hope this video helps you guys understand that you don't have to have a big, huge BattleStation 4-screen setup running whatever PC, whatever Mac, whatever it is, $10,000 Mac, $8,000 PC. You can literally have your phone or your iPad or whatever it is, and you can edit and post videos. You don't have to be limited or a slave to the desk. That's something that I've learned in these past 2 weeks, is I'm going back to the basics, back to where it all started until my parts come in, and I hope you guys do too. I hope not having a computer doesn't stop anyone else like it stopped me for the past 2 weeks. I'm ashamed of myself for that because I'm a whole lot more creative than that. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about editing mobile. Do you love it? Do you hate it? I would love to see your feedback down there. And as always, if you like this video, want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. I love growing this community here on YouTube. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you in the next.